Okay, hi girls. Hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully this video finds you all safe and getting a little bit of work done, but at the same time also getting a little bit of downtime and rest and spending time with your families. What I want to do in this video, just real quick, is go over your major project for the novel The Outsiders, called your portfolio. All right, so I'm going to try and explain this to you, and then of course, if there's any questions, you can feel free to reach out. I'm probably going to actually create an assignment on Google Classroom where you can go in and type out your questions even, and then I can get back to you that way as well. So I want to walk through the assignment with you, and then whatever questions remain, follow up with me, and we'll definitely take care of things. All right. So what I'd like you to do first, if you would please, is please go ahead and get into Google Drive. And when you do that, obviously what you'll want to do is get into the Outsiders folder. Once in the Outsiders folder, you'll see our portfolio project listed right here. So go ahead and open that. What you're going to see are three documents. The first document is just a checklist that you can use towards the end of the portfolio project to kind of keep tabs on, yes, I've got everything that I need. Got things in order, etc., etc. So please definitely make sure you do check that out. The second one is the rubric, how you're going to be scored. So you'll definitely want to take a look at that as well and make sure that you are aware of the scoring process. The one that we want to take a look at today is this one called the Outsiders Final Project. So go ahead and click that, open it up, and definitely make a copy of it for yourself. Okay, so here is everything that you need to know about the final project for the Outsiders, and really your final project for the entire year. So this is a chance for you to sort of impress me with everything that you've learned throughout the year in terms of writing, analysis, creativity, and really just put everything together in one giant portfolio. So a portfolio is a collection of work. So you're going to be compiling a portfolio of several different pieces of work related to the novel. All right, so it's going to kind of give us an idea of and a chance to look at the novel in a couple of different ways. Okay, what you're going to do then is please put this together, and I'm going to show you what you're going to be putting this together in. Now, keep in mind that with the end of school still in question, we may have to tweak this assignment where it goes all digital, but I'm going to show you, because my fingers are crossed that we actually get back into school, how we're going to organize our portfolio into a binder. Okay, where you have choices in this portfolio, and you're going to hear me say this again, is please choose projects that suit your talents, because we want you to create a very effective piece of work here that really showcases everything that you're capable of and everything that you're able to do. Okay, a couple things about this assignment. Number one is, when is it due? I can't give you that answer right now, only because things are still in flux. Typically what you're going to find is that this is usually due on a week like May 18th, but it might be due a little bit earlier or a little bit later based on everything going on right now with school and the quarantine and the stay-at-home orders from the government. Okay, this is a 100-point project grade, so this is a major grade for the fourth quarter. It is, again, something that is sort of a comprehensive assignment that allows you to showcase everything that you've learned and everything that you've been able to do during the course of the year. Okay, there are some mandatory parts of the portfolio, so what you're going to see here is that everything is listed, right? And these are things that must be in your portfolio. So this is also a checklist, even though I've given you a checklist before. Okay, so the mandatory parts of a portfolio are as follows. Okay, number one is you must have a table of contents, which means your page numbers must be numbered. Okay, you also need to have your tough time journal entries. Now, we've already seen this before. Actually, you've already done two of them, or you're working on two of them for this week's homework. Okay, all journal entries that we start. So, for example, we started tough time journal entry number one from board work. We're going to ask you to finish that and put that into paragraph form. Okay. Now, just real quick on the tough time journal entries, you need to understand that these are final copies, so they need to be revised and edited. I will gladly look at a few of them here or there. I'm not going to look over all of them, because when you get done with this, there's about 5 or 6, I think, total. But feel free to bring me a couple. We can look at them and make sure you're doing them correctly. But again, a reminder that these are final copies, and you need to write as such. Okay, you're going to see in the rest of this portfolio assignment is that then we get into what's called Part A choice, Part B choice, and Part C choice. It's exactly what it means. So for each part, A, B, and C, you're given different options and you're going to choose from those. So again, these are required parts. So Part A, B, and C are required. Next is going to be the character chart. So the character chart that we started this week in class, the final copy of the character chart will be included in the portfolio. We also have a study guide that goes with the novel that also must be included. That should be typed. And again, I'm actually going to make a note of that right now for everybody, okay, that this should be typed. Okay. Next, we have this character cube / character analysis. So one of the other projects for this is going to be sort of more of a more in-depth and character analysis. And again, still kind of feeling through exactly what we're going to do with this, considering whether we get back to school or not. But again, once we do know exactly what's going on, I'll make sure that we update this assignment so you know exactly what you're doing. And then the other mandatory part of this that you must have is you must have a decorated folder / binder. Again, we're going to include all of our requirements here in a binder, hopefully. If not, we're going to have to look at this as a digital format. And again, we will understand hopefully here soon what's going to go on at the end of the year, and we can make a decision and then walk you through how to do that. Again, please understand that these are final copies. So all of these things should be redone. These should be final copies when you turn them in. So the work, the revision, the editing, etc., should reflect that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to walk you through the next parts here, which are parts A, B, and C. Now, for parts A, B, and C, this is really important to remember. Choose one. Okay, there are several options to choose from. Every year I say choose one, and every year Sally chooses two. Okay, or she does all three, and she's doing extra work. Okay, so part A is what we call the creative writing project. Again, we've given you 3 choices. You can read through each of these choices and decide which one you want to do. Okay, again, please make sure as you go through this, you look over each option carefully. Choose what you think will be to your strengths, and also choose something that will interest you. All right, so again, please look these over. Make sure you understand the exact requirements. Each one of these choices has different requirements to them. So make sure you look over them and make sure you understand what you're doing. If you have any questions, ask. Part B is called Making a Difference. Okay, again, you're going to choose one. There are 3 options. Okay, you can create a help sheet or a pamphlet for those experiencing peer pressure in a negative way. Okay, you can find and explain evidence that The Outsiders novel demonstrates the negative effects of violence, peer pressure. You can do some research in regards to the effects of peer pressure on violence and stereotyping on violence. And again, you'll write some paragraphs that explain and explore these areas and how the novel teaches us to rise above sort of these social problems. And then last but not least, you can create an anti-bullying, anti-stereotyping, anti-violence, anti-anything public awareness poster. Again, these posters should focus on what the issue is, the negative effects, and most importantly, how it can be prevented or stopped. If you do a poster, you must include an image with it, at least one. The poster needs to be in color. It needs to be creative and neat. Again, it needs to be unique. So what are you adding to this poster that's not listed here? And again, a reminder on most of these, especially the first choice and first choice and third choice, neatness and quality of work definitely counts. You're also encouraged to discuss this with people. So as you decide which one you're going to do, you're encouraged to share your insights with a younger sibling, perhaps, or your friends, a group of classmates. Talk to your parents about this. And if you do that, I would love for you to write a response about what they learned and what they talked about, and just generally speaking, what your conversations were. Okay, so again, this is really about exploring some of these social issues that the book will also be exploring. And then the last part is called the visual project. Okay. So again, your time and effort will be valued and will further demonstrate your understanding of the novel and its various issues. So this is for all of our artistic ability. Okay, the examples here could be a memorable scene from a novel. You could illustrate it in detail. You could create a summary of the novel in a comic strip format. This is a great one. If you do that, there are some very specific requirements as far as how many frames you need to have, so make sure you look that over. Or I've also had students do a great job with this one in the past. They create an original map of the setting for the novel, and they include all the important places in it. So for example, Ponyboy's house, or the vacant lot where Johnny gets jumped. So these are things that you can look at, and certainly you artistic people will find this one also right up your alley. Even if you're not artistic like I'm not, you can obviously then choose some of these that will allow you to do this in a good way. So again, these should be colorful. These should be creative. Again, they should be unique. Okay. So these are your choices for part A, B, and C. Look them over. Please make sure you understand what you're going to be doing and what are the requirements that are asked of you. So I've tried to explain the portfolio to you. I know that there's still probably a ton of questions. So I think the best thing to do next is probably to go ahead and show you what one of these portfolios looks like. Okay, so this is a final copy of a portfolio, and you can see that the portfolio has been arranged into a binder. Now I know when you look at this, it's going to be backwards, but you can see on the cover the way this is being decorated. You've got the name of the novel there. You've got some pictures that are associated with the novel, but you also have some pictures on the cover page that are associated with the person putting this portfolio together. So the cover should not only be about the novel, but it also should be about you. And you should include elements in it that tell us a little bit about you as a person. Okay? So as you flip through this, you'll kind of see how all the requirements are being met. So again, here for this, I apologize for the backward picture that you're getting and also the glare. What you'll see here are the table of contents. And then we get into her tough time journal entries. And you can see that this student in particular has organized these things by looking at this by dividing it. So you can see how she's got her divider pages here. So these are her tough time journal entries, right? And you can see how she's pieced these together. She's got these clear, I don't know if you can see that, clear plastic covers for each section too, which I thought was brilliant. Okay, then we get into some of her answers and her responses. Right, as you flip through this, you'll see how she did it. Here's some additional work that we're going to be doing, so we'll get to that here shortly. Right, this is her first one, so this is her first choice here. This student chose to write a letter. Okay, here is her bullying, anti-bullying poster, and you can see again, even though it's backwards, we've got color, we've got creativity, we've got neatness here. And then this is the scene that she chose to sketch, and again, I apologize for the glare. And I'm going to take pictures of all of these, so you'll also see these as well. But you can see how this student did it, right? And then as you flip through it, you'll see things like here is her character chart, right? Here is some more work that we're going to be doing that we're going to be discussing, and we'll be talking about including that as well, right? And adding that into our checklist. And then you'll see here that this page, this starts with her study guide, and the study guide is typed, all right? And then last but not least, one of the things that we'll be doing towards the end of the novel is we'll be taking a look at some of the symbols. And again, there'll be a symbolism chart that we're also going to include, and we'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. So what you'll see is that this one is a really super, it's neat, it's colorful, it's creative, and she's done a really good job with this. I think this student, and again, I'm going to take some pictures of this, and I'm going to add it to your Google Drive so you have some copies of this. I believe Madison, she got a 96% on this. So not only did she arrange things in an orderly fashion, all the requirements were met. This is also done neatly. It's a high level of work. Her work was revised. It was edited. There were minimal grammatical issues and etc. So this is an example of a portfolio. This is what we're looking for you to do right now. So I think in the short term, what you want to think about, number one, is please look over the assignment. Make sure you understand what's being asked of you. Number two is make some choices about what parts you want to do from part A, B, and C. And then maybe also start thinking about getting some of the materials. Maybe think about your cover page, or maybe think about getting your binder. And then also you should be working this week on your first two tough time journal entries. So look this over. Also look over the parts that are going to be in Google Drive for the checklist. And then also look over the rubric. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, or even post something onto Classroom in the assignment that I'm going to create for the Outsider portfolio questions. Okay. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you're all doing well. Don't be afraid to check in with me. Call me on a Zoom if you need to, and we can chat and we can clear this up if you have any other questions. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you soon, hopefully, and take care. Bye.